Okay. So, hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Great.
Good. Okay. So, the deal is I'm going to give you 10 minutes to talk about whatever you want, whatever's on your heart. Can be about your life, it can be anything. And then I'll stop you and I'm going to ask you 5 questions at the end.
Okay.
And then one question right now, how do you feel at this moment?
At this moment?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's a hard question to answer. Content.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Content.
Cool.
Content probably for the first time in a long time.
Cool.
God, I don't even know what do I talk about myself?
Well, and
what makes me content?
Yeah,
why
you can.
Mm-hmm.
But what's your full name first?
Kerri Elizabeth Cipriani.
Okay. Oh, we're gonna have to type that one out.
Yep.
And how old are you?
I'm 28.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And where are you from?
I'm from Ohio originally, Sylvania, Ohio.
Okay.
The last 5 years I lived in Tampa.
Okay.
And now I live here.
Okay. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
And now
I've only lived here for like 5 months.
Okay.
Okay, so why am I content? So I lived in Ohio until I was 22. And when I was 22, I got hit by a car. And I was rollerblading and this kid was texting and driving. It was a whole thing. Mm-hmm. But it was this kind of, I spent so much time on the couch recovering, and I was supposed to go back to school, but I was like, why am I 22 and still living in this small town?
Right.
What am I doing with my life? I had such bigger hopes and dreams, and I just decided to pick up and move. And I literally moved like 4 weeks later. So I moved to Tampa and worked in the restaurant industry for 5 years, and it was awful.
Sounds like you loved it.
It was so great. In Tampa, not knocking it, but the people that live there just have very different values than I do, and they're very shallow. And that is hard. As a woman, that is impossible to live like that for so long when it's just not who I am. It's not what I care about. It's not what I want to care about.
Right.
And I was like watching myself morph into this different person that I didn't really want to be. And then I met Lee, who's my fiance, and we were friends for a really long time before we started dating. And then we started skydiving together, and we started going on bike rides and paddleboarding and getting back to the things that I enjoyed doing that, was true to my roots.
Right.
And, we'd been friends for so long, so it was like this really smooth transition from like friends to dating. It was just like, why have we not been doing this all along?
Like we belong.
Yeah.
Right here.
And I would not have stayed in Tampa as long as I did had I not met Lee. Okay. But he kind of kept my sanity, and he was worth sticking around for. But he and I both always had this, like, we're not staying. Like,
right.
This is not where we want to be for the rest of our lives. He's the same as me. He's from Ohio, and just had like wanted to be around different people, different vibes, different goals.
Yeah.
So we reached out to Luke and Brooke, knowing that they had the place in the Virgin Islands, and Lee had just gotten his tandem instructor rating and was like, hey, can we come with you guys? And it was like, that was our whole goal, was save the money to get to the Virgin Islands and go there.
Right.
And then it got wiped out by the hurricanes. So we got stuck in Tampa for another like 6 months, and that was so painful.
Yeah.
But then we came here, and it's just like, we had no idea what to expect. We didn't know if we were going to like the town. We're like, at least we're moving, and it's a fresh start, and we'll see. The people here are so freaking nice, and they have like the Southern hospitality. I'm in love with this town. So it's like, not only do we have more time together because we both quit our corporate jobs, we have less money, but we have more time together, and we have more quality of life. And it's just like, I've never been so stress-free, and it's crazy what it took to get there, but so content. That's the best way I can put it.
Wow.
It's just content.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all I got. How long was
you got
that?
Plenty. You still have more.
I have more time?
Oh. You did 3 minutes. You
That's
still have
it?
7. I know.
Okay. What else can I talk about? So we're planning a wedding, which is super fun, but as your sister will learn, it's very stressful. And it's not stressful in the ways that I thought it would be, because everyone talks about, like, everything that can go wrong and bridezillas and all this. Like, Lee and I make decisions so easily together. Yeah. It's insane. Like, we just kind of had this momentum when we got engaged. 2 days later, we went to St. Augustine, where we knew we wanted to get married. and visited a ton of venues. We visited a cake baker. We met with a coordinator. We booked all of our vendors in one day.
Dang,
and it was
awesome.
just like, you know, we like these people. It feels right. Let's just do it. You know,
You didn't question yourself.
No, we didn't question it. And we didn't feel like we needed to do like a ton of research and just like overdo the decision making. And I think had we done that, it would have been more stressful. So we made these like hard, fast decisions, and then now we're just building the wedding around like what our vision is and what's our personality. But the part that's stressful is like, you want to invite everybody, but that's so expensive. And then, you know, people like assume that they're coming, and it's like, ooh, but you're not. And so that is like the hardest. It's like politics.
Totally.
You know, and it's like, how do you tell people like, yes, I love you and you're awesome, but I can't afford to feed 300 people. Like, you should know that. I'm not rich. So that is that's kind of stressful. And then the other part that's stressful is my dress, because I love it and I have to get it fitted, and I am so afraid to like hand it over to someone. And that's, I think, my one like crazy bride thing. Like everything else, I don't care what goes wrong as long as I get to marry Lee and our family's there, like, amazing.
Right.
That's going to be the perfect day for me.
Right.
But I love this dress. And it wasn't expensive, but it's, you know, we don't have a ton of money. So to me, that's like, oh my God, please don't ruin my dress.
Right.
So I'm so scared to hand it over to someone. And as much as I love this town, people with artistic inclinations do not move to Gulf Shores, Alabama.
Very true.
So it's like finding someone that
Yes.
that can handle a modern dress is just like, ooh. So I've been
Right.
like calling all of these places, and I'm really big about like, I don't shop from people that I don't like.
Yeah.
Like if they're kind of rude or dismissive and they're not like excited to work with you,
Right.
then I'm just like, okay, I can't do this. So I'm calling all of these seamstresses, and they're just like, yeah, bring the dress in. And it's like,
No,
aren't you excited for me?
Right.
So that's really difficult for me. So I haven't found a seamstress, and I've been searching for like 6 months. So I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Man, these gnats are driving me
I know.
insane. It's the storm. They're coming in from
Yep.
the storm. So that's the wedding, but it's going to be so beautiful. My sister got us this cake topper, and it's two people, like a girl in a dress and a guy in a suit, but they're parachuting. And they're like kissing under parachutes.
Oh,
it's so cute.
yes.
So it's just kind of cool. And then the other part that's super cool about our wedding, so Lee was raised Amish.
Okay.
And we did not think his family would want to come to the wedding, because
Right.
it's like he can't go back to his community after he's married outside of it. And, you know, they're very conservative, and they, you know, that's their life, and that's how they, you know, want to live
Right.
amongst their values. And so taking them out of that atmosphere and saying, like, watch a wedding that has nothing to do with the way that you do things, you know, and like, we've got cameras and all this stuff that you don't agree with.
Right.
And we went to their house for dinner, and I was like, I'm going to talk your family into going. Like, I've got my speech prepared. I'm going to make it happen. They're going to come. At least your parents will be there.
Right.
And we're all sitting down at dinner and chit-chatting, and his mom's like, yeah, so we're renting a bus. And like, they had already intended, the whole family was coming. It was like all of his siblings, all of his nieces and nephews. And now his sister is one of my bridesmaids.
How cool.
And his nephew is going to be our ring bearer. And two of his nieces are going to be flower girls. So it's like, not only are they coming to the wedding, but they're like a really big part of it. So it's just going to be super cool to have this really eclectic, like my weird, crazy family from all over the country, and then his Amish family like coming together. And it's so cool.
It's gonna be a great day.
So excited about it. It's just like, it's really unique, and it's so important to me that he's represented as much as I am. You know, like I don't want it to be Kerri's wedding with all my friends and family, and then it's just his friends, you know. So he has this, you know, huge chunk of family that's going to be there, and that's just like awesome. All right. What else can I talk about? Where are we at?
You have 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Left.
Okay. Man. Never realized how hard it is to like actually talk for 10
Without
minutes.
a prompt. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see. I've talked about moving, talked about his Amish family, talked about the wedding. My dog!
Your dog.
How could I not talk about Phoebe? So I harassed Lee from the day we started dating that I wanted a dog, that I just always wanted a dog. And he was very much like, well, do we have the money? Do we have the time? Because at the time we were working like 12-hour days, both of us. Right. And I mean, we never saw each other. So it was like, we don't have time for a dog, because he was skydiving and he was working in an office. And then I was working at the restaurant like 70 hours a week. And he went out to the drop zone one day, and one of the girls that worked there, her dog had like ran away from home, got knocked up, came home. And she was just trying to get rid of the puppies. And Phoebe was the last one, and he knew that if I found out there were puppies and like didn't bring it home, there were gonna be problems. So he texted me while I was at work, and he's like, I have plans for us tonight, but you'll have to come home to see what it is. And I just had a feeling, I was like, he got me a dog. Like, I knew, because he never says things like that. Right. And I came home, and she was just sitting on the floor in between his feet, and she was the cutest little, like, wrinkly nugget. And, oh my God, I fell in love with her. So she is part American Bulldog and part Mountain Cur. So she looks like Scooby-Doo.
Oh my God.
And she has this wrinkly forehead, and she's like this big, but she's 50 pounds. She's just all muscle. So we gave her a blue collar, and she, like, you know, full Scooby-Doo outfit. And we went as Scooby-Doo for Halloween. And I was Velma, and he was Fred, and I was Daphne. That's like Velma. He was Fred, and I was Daphne. And we're at a bar, like costume contest, hanging out with our friends, drinking with Phoebe. And this VW bus that's blue and green pulls up in front of the bar. We're like, holy shit.
We need a picture.
And he sees us, and he's like,
van.
You need a picture with us. It was like the coolest thing. Like, we're just in the middle of this like kind of hipster town at a bar, and this bus that literally looked like the Mystery Machine pulled up. It was so
insane.
cool. So Phoebe is like 100% our life revolves around her. Everything is decided based on what's going on with Phoebe. And I love her. I'm obsessed with her. She's so cool.
I can tell you love her. That's
She's the
awesome.
best. Yep. So he made right with me and got me a dog.
Right. Then
But
you were like, okay, we can get married
Yeah.
now.
Now he's the one that spoils her. It's so funny because for so long he's like, she's never going to be on the bed. She never gets people food. And now when we eat, she has her face on his lap because she knows Dad's going to give her food. And she sleeps on the bed. And it was like, there was never a moment where it was like, okay, it's time for her to sleep on the floor. Just, she now sleeps in the bed, and now we just need to buy a bigger bed. You know, we're not going to train the dog. No. We're going to buy a bigger bed.
Right.
So that's Phoebe. She runs our life, and we love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think you're probably good. Yeah, you're
10
good.
minutes. Cool.
So you did it.
I did it.
Yay.
I made it through 10 minutes. I also don't normally talk about myself that much.
Exactly.
That's weird.
Yes. So 5 questions. You can answer the questions in one sentence. You can even say one word. If that's how you feel. Question 1, are you happy?
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay. 2, what is your biggest fear in life?
Losing the people that I love.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is my other? I have 5. How do you feel at this moment?
Content still. Yeah.
Okay.
Very at peace.
What brings you the most joy in the whole world?
Oh, God, that's a good question. I love that question. It has to be just like taking care of someone that I care about.
Okay.
Like making them happy or making them feel safe or comfortable. That's enough for me.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
And question 5, can I give you a hug?
Always.
Okay.
I love hugs.
Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. That's so cool. I love it.
Yeah.
Keep